Me again. Sitting here waiting for people to join me at the playground. I really wish I could get to the real playground one of these days when they open that back up. And I have a feeling it's going to come sooner than later. These days I'm feeling like we're on the other side of this, whether we realize it or not. So I have a feeling it's coming closer to time to reopen things. Whether it's a good idea or not, I don't know. And I'm not going to get into that. So I'm just sitting here. It is now noon on the dot. And I'm waiting for my friends to come play at the playground. It's been a weird day for me. I hope as you guys pop on, you can tell me how it's feeling to you today. I feel like I'm kind of sitting in a weird little sandbox. I see somebody. Thank you for joining me. Come join me in the sandbox. I'm sitting in there playing in the dirt. It's been kind of one of those days for me. Lots of things going on. I'm too busy. So I'm here now and I'm centering and I'm getting myself settled in to enjoy some playtime and see what comes through. So I'm tuning in and I'm trying to hear it. And I see my glasses over there out of reach, so I may be a little blind to comments today. We'll see. So as you pop on, I see somebody. As you pop on, let me know how your day is going today. Let me know how it feels. Let me know how the world feels to you today. How does the energy feel? Is it changing? How is your vision? I did a neat little exercise yesterday, the kaleidoscope, and I played around with that thought throughout the day. And the reason that I did that, it was like, wow, that's really kind of cool the way Spirit brings us these messages, these exercises to play. Because if you visualize yourself with that kaleidoscope, you've got one eye shut. So I picture myself with this one eye. This one is the one that's seeing all the scary stuff. And I close it. And I use this now. This is looking up at the sun, looking into the light. Focus on the light. And see how the light refracts through all of those beautiful little shapes. It changes everything. So I'm focusing on that right now for myself as I sit here in my playground. And if I was a good little person, I'd share this out, but I don't really know how to do two things at one time. Who's here with me? If you are capable, if you are better at things than I am and you would like to share this out, it would be awesome. I am not a multi-talented person sometimes. I'm very focused. Oh, wait, here we go. Here I am. Let's see if I can get this out to a few places. Then maybe I can multi-purpose myself. Let's do this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. That's good enough. Uh-oh. So as you join me, if you join me, I might be playing in the playground all by myself with a bunch of angels today. Yesterday, that's what happened. We were sitting here, and after a while, it was like, oh, I feel a gathering, and there was suddenly angels all around. I see a face. I'm so glad you joined me. You didn't leave me at the playground hanging. I keep popping out at different times every day, and I know it makes it. Hi, Lynette. Thank you for joining me. I know it makes it difficult for people, and there is so much going on right now. We have so many people. It's a beautiful thing. So many people are reaching out and trying to raise the vibration, trying to help one another. We're working together to try to walk each other through all of this chaos that the world is filled with right now. So I'm aware that it's not always me that people are drawn to, for sure. So I'll sit here anyway and I'll talk. I can talk for an hour easy. So today I'm back in that place of the kaleidoscope that I was yesterday, because I was playing around with that yesterday, and it was so beautiful thinking about when you use the kaleidoscope, you close one eye. I'm going to close this one, and then you look at this one, and you look at the light. And when you look at the light, it changes the shapes that are in that. You start turning it, and you see how the light refracts, that's a better word, through those different shapes. And it makes such beautiful colors. And so that's where I am right now, is refocusing myself. There was, for me, and I'd love for you to tell me how it's been going for you. For me, it's been, I woke up in kind of a weird energy today. Like things were, I was happy and I was laughing, and yet there was a part of me that feels like I've been working a lot in my sleep. I don't know if you guys feel that. I've been having these dreams. And I can tell you the gist of the dreams yesterday because I think it's important. We need to pay attention to these dreams. For me, if I remember my dreams and I remember them in great detail, it is always because, hi Jenny, it's always because there's something there in that dream that I'm supposed to be getting from it, and it's not always an obvious thing. So at a conscious level, every time I fall asleep lately, there is one very strong theme. And this, I've never had dreams. I'm jerking around today, aren't I? I'm sorry. I've never had dreams that um, repeated over and over and over again. I wake up, I go back to sleep. I wake up, I can walk around all day long. I go back to sleep. I lay back, close my eyes, whatever, and the same thought pattern keeps coming to me. So I'm gonna bring it up today just because of that, because I wonder if how many of you are experiencing something like this. The dream is basically kind of frantic. Hi Terry, thank you for joining me. If you guys can share, please do. I've shared it a little bit, but I'm not very good at that. So we're kind of going into a dream world for a few minutes. We've been playing with the kaleidoscope a little bit. Hello, beautiful, right back at you. What my recurring dream is for the past 2 days has been being in a place where I have family members around me, and at some point those family members are gone. They just disappear, like I've gone someplace else. And in one of the dreams, it was so crazy, they all left me. And I remember my father, I'm pretty sure my mother. In another dream, it was my kids, and I kept getting left behind. At one point in one dream, I had been left, and I was like wandering aimlessly for, it must have been 2 or 3 years, because in the dream, at the beginning of the dream, Abby was just a baby, and I suddenly found my way back to the place where we had all gathered. Hello, kitty cat. And she, hello, Cheryl Ann. And somebody took me to this room. I asked about her, and somebody took me to this room, and they brought me this little girl who was like 3 years old, who looked just like me. So all of my family had left me. I was wandering aimlessly, and I found my way back 2 or 3 years later. And then I had a dream right after that about my kids all leaving, and I'm trying to pack my stuff. We're at some resort or something, and I'm trying to pack it all. And I see Jess, she's my oldest, she's like got her stuff all packed, and she's just leaving, and she's not paying any attention to me. And I'm like, Jess, I'm calling her, and she keeps going, and I'm trying to get my stuff, and strangers are filling the building, and I don't recognize any of them. And I'm once again thrown into this place where I feel like everybody's leaving me. And I'm only telling you this dream because I wonder how many of us are having dreams like that. They're release dreams. They're these dreams of, man, we got these fears, like we are going someplace that those that we love can't necessarily go, or that they're going someplace that we can't go, or that we're losing our connection. And that's what it is. I love it when truth hits me suddenly. I feel as if I'm losing my connection to those people that I love, as if I'm moving ahead, and that's been a repeating theme in my life. It really hit me hard in March of 2016 when I was out. Steve and I were in the mountains, and I suddenly saw a path, and I started walking down that path, and he walked in a different direction. And we had always just gone the same direction when we went to the mountains. And that year I remember thinking, I think that I've got to go someplace that he can't go. And it was just a few months later that he was diagnosed with cancer. So, you know, we have this intuitive stuff going on, and when we're dreaming this stuff, it's like it's in there. And I think many of us are feeling this right now. This, where are we going? Are we going someplace that others can't go? Or are they going someplace that we're not going to go? And it's, you're not late, Geraldine. Just join in whenever you get here. We've been just kind of playing in the mud pit, I think, this morning. I just wonder, I want to bring it up to you guys. Do you feel as if this whole shift that's going on right now, do you feel like we're having these kinds of dreams, these kinds of feelings, these, what's a good word for it? Anxieties, this sense of loss. It's two-folded to me. I feel as if I've lost, or maybe those that I love can't quite keep up with me, and so I kind of see myself as a boat, and there's a wake behind me, and they're back there someplace. I know that they're in the wake. They're being pulled along behind me, but I can't always see them, and I don't always know if they're okay back there. And so it's difficult for me, and so it plays out in my dreams. The second part of that is I wonder, and you can help me with this part for sure. Do you ever feel as if it's not only your loved ones that you're stepping away from, but it's also your ego? I'm going to sit in that for a minute because I want you to think about it. Do you feel as if a part of us is mourning because we're actually losing the ego at this time? I'm shaking. And whenever I start shaking, I know there's truth. Yeah, Jenny, I think we're all anxious more so lately. We can't help but being anxious if we're surrounded by it when we go out in public. There's so much anxiety. There's something deeper here, and I'm literally shaking to my core right now. Because I feel as if there is, we have been working on, I've been going through this process, this what I call my roller coaster, where I fall into mourning or sadness, and I don't really know what it's all about. I just know that I feel like I'm losing something, and I don't really know why. And I realize, many times I've realized that I wasn't losing somebody else. I wasn't losing anything. I was losing another piece of me, because we have grown so accustomed to living in this character, this body, this part that we're playing. You know, like I've got a social security number, I've got a name, I've got titles, I've got family, and I've got all these hats that I wear, and I'm so used to wearing all those hats and being this person. So what happens when we go through this shift and we come out and the ego is no longer even necessary? We don't need it. We don't need to play a part anymore. We can step off the stage and just be who we really are while we're still here on the planet. That's really incredible. That's never been done in humanity before. I'm sure a few people have figured it out along the way. Those high gurus have stepped out of their egoic state. But most of us, we're still riding that roller coaster ride. Like, woo, I'm way up here. I'm all in that God space right now. And then we're like, boom, right back at the bottom. And then we're coming back up again. And it's like this constant. And every time we would go to the bottom of that, we would mourn, and we would feel as if we were losing, and then we would start climbing again. We're like, oh, but it's okay. It's okay that I lost that piece of myself. I don't need that part anymore. I can let that go. And we come back up. And we really feel much lighter. Like, ooh, I got rid of that. But then we go through it again, because the ego is like, it's multifaceted, and it's many, many layers. Or layers of the onion. I love that Paul says all the time. Layers of the onion. We shed one layer, and then we get to another layer, and we get to another layer, and we just keep going, and it's work, and it's scary. And I am really shaking, you guys. I feel like this is a really important message right now. Where are we? Told you my glasses are across the room, so hang with me. That's my ego, causes me trouble. Geraldine says, I absolutely do feel that way, and I think we need to let go of the negative egoic structures. I think you're exactly right. Is it, that we necessarily, I'm still going to be me. I'm still me. Even when Steve died, he still came back in a way that was still totally Steve. He was still the jokester. He was still making me laugh. We let go of the ego We let go of the negative. I love that you said that. Thank you for that, Geraldine. The negative aspects of the ego, the parts of us that are so needy, that are so easily triggered and so reactive, and the hateful parts, the lower vibrational parts that are not necessary anymore. Geraldine, I have had the most intense struggles with my ego over the past week. I'm with you on that one. It's not been super intense, but I've been working on this for a while, and I know what that intensity feels like. And it's incredibly difficult, and you just, man, I can tell you, and it's not been very long, the whole California thing for me, and letting go of that situation, and being able to get in a car and drive all the way across the country with a 13-year-old and not even know where I was going to live when I got here. And I can't tell you how many times over, even when I was in California, I wasn't feeling like it was right. My ego was screaming at me. And I was like, what is wrong with me? Why can't I be here? Why can't I be happy? And I'm falling on the floor crying, and I literally found my bathroom floor again through that relationship. So it's been a really rough time, and I'm thankful. I'm thankful. I'm going to tell you that, Geraldine. I'm thankful for every time that it knocked me to my knees. Every time this life has knocked me to my knees, I've come out like a firecracker, like a like a rocket. Like the harder I hit the floor, the higher up I went when I came out of it. So I do believe maybe we're really struggling right now, but I also know because of my experiences that when we do come out of this, we're going to absolutely be completely changed, forever changed. Let's see. We need the ego to survive, but it has taken over aspects of our lives that it doesn't need to exactly. We've given it full reign for eons. Eons. Humanity has given the ego full reign, and we don't need it to protect us anymore. We have abilities now that are unlike we've ever seen, and we have help and support and guidance. The veil is so thin, and we are evolving so quickly, and we don't need that protective little voice in our heads all the time that's saying, don't do that because, or, those people are going to do this if you do that, or they just don't love you anymore, or they love somebody else more than you, or whatever. You can give yourself your ego can come up with a million reasons why you shouldn't put your face out there, why you shouldn't do what your soul is calling you to do out of fear. And we don't need that fear ego anymore. Let's name it that. It's the fear ego that we don't want. The love ego can stay. It's just the fear ego. Go away. Jenny, I'm terrified I'm going to lose my mom before I can visit her again, and she has leukemia. I dream about it every night. I can imagine. We're going to, sending you a big hug, big love bombs, because this time is so crazy and we can't get to our loved ones, and it literally, I feel like I'm climbing the walls for you right now. I can't imagine. So, we're wrapping you up today, Jenny. Those are released dreams that you're having. When we have fear, it's like a way to face it while we're asleep. Our soul's busy at work, and hopefully it helps us to release, but we're sending you support because I totally understand. Cheryl-Ann is up in our faces. Yes, the roller coaster. That's our game today. We're on the roller coaster ride. We're going to make it a kiddie roller coaster, okay? Because not everybody likes to go down those great big hills, climb back up. Do you remember the roller coasters, the old wooden ones? I've ridden on them recently. I actually worked at a amusement park the year that Steve died. I had a job running rides. I didn't run the roller coasters. I ran a lot of scary rides, though. And I ran a lot of kiddie rides because I loved putting the kids on the rides and talking to them, and we would have so much fun. That's me. I'm such a kid, and the carousel was my favorite. So today we'll just be in that little, I know how to run the ride for you guys. Hop on. I promise you'll be safe. I'll help you buckle your seatbelts. Let's have some fun on our own little kiddie coaster today. Let's see. Geraldine says this is the gift of this. Shedding the layers. This is not only... We've had the opportunity to shed layers for a long time. This is shedding the whole onion. That's how I see it. I don't know if you guys are seeing it. It's like, yeah, our angels, our guides, they've been very patient, and they're letting us shed it layer by layer by layer. And now it's like, okay, time's up, guys. Guess what? The whole onion, you're going all the way to the core now. No more piece of coal hanging out. You are now a diamond, and we're shining you up. And so digging to that diamond and getting chipped away sometimes hurts. It hurts. But remember that everything that you're going through is an experience. Disease and losing loved ones and relationships and losing physical things and breaking a bone, and I don't know, you could name a million things that we suffer on this planet in a million different ways. And every one of them, we talked about it yesterday, every one of them is an experience. It's really, if you can rise above a little bit as much as possible, rise above, take a big breath and rise above it for just a little while and look down on it and say, you know what, I'm now the observer and I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, think about the things that you've already gone through in your life. And the hard stuff, those are the greatest teachers. Those people, that abusive husband that I had for nearly 20 years, he was one of my greatest teachers. I didn't like it. I can guarantee you, I didn't like the way that he treated me, but he taught me a lot. Steve's death, my gosh, I shot out of that like a bottle rocket. He has taught me so much. I didn't want to go through that. My gosh, it was excruciatingly painful. I wouldn't change it. So everything that we're going through right now, we can look at it now too as the observer and say, man, that's pretty horrible. We're going through some horrible stuff. And yet, look out the other side. When we get to the other side of this, we're going to be changed forever. I see all of humanity being changed by something as big as this. So, take a big breath. Live in the moment, right now. We're separated from our loved ones. They're suffering, we're suffering. We want to be close to them. We want to smile at them. We want to hug them. Work on it energetically. Live in the moment. Comfort yourself. Hold on to that little baby that's inside of you and say it's going to be okay. It really is going to be okay. It really is. I'm sending you a big old love, Jenny. Big old love hug to you right now. And know how hard this is. I've been there. I know what it's like. Just please let yourself be comforted. Let yourself be held. Picture yourself being held in that loving embrace. You are going to be okay. Your mom's going to be okay. We're all going to be okay in this. I don't know how it's all going to turn out, but I do know we have that guarantee that however it turns out, we are going to come out the other side of this. Luann, thank you for joining me. And we're giving you help. I see it in this little group. Jenny, we're all supporting you here today. Sending you big, big hugs. Let's see. This is the gift of all this. Shedding the layers, we saw that. Shedding the whole dang onion. It is so important. We all know this. We keep repeating. It's a repeating thing. We can't take this stuff with us. We can't move into this new reality. If we were able to instantly manifest, which we're coming to, if we still hold ourselves in that place, if we allow the pain or the negative emotions, the fear emotions to have full reign, we're creating from that. And as we're creating from that, we're creating a world that we don't want to live in. So, excuse me, I'm getting super dried out in my mason jar because I live in Tennessee. My daughter told me that was the rule. We can't live in Tennessee without drinking out of mason jars. I don't know if you guys know that rule yet, but I just gave it to you. Let's see who else. The phoenix rising from the ashes. Yes. How many times? You don't rise from the ashes once, do you, Geraldine? We just keep rising. And every time we rise, our feathers just become more beautiful. Luann, some fear for me. My mom is on the East Coast, and I hope I will get to see her again. She's 87. I hope you do too, Luann. Big hugs to you too. This is such a difficult time to be separated from our loved ones. Geraldine, so true, the whole onion, love it. Michelle, thank you for joining us. Our greatest and most, Geraldine says, our greatest and most painful challenges give us the greatest growth. They do, and boy, do we hate it when we gotta sit in it. it's the pits. Nobody wants to stay in that for long, do they? Jenny, you're so welcome. Michelle, it's okay to be a little late. You can come to the playground whenever you get here. And Kentucky with Mason J. Terry. I lived in Kentucky, I told you that. So I remember, do you remember? That just came to me. There used to be, I don't know where you lived in Kentucky, but I lived near, I used to work in Bowling Green. I lived down in Glasgow for a while. And I lived up in, I met Steve in Owensboro, Kentucky, which was northern. And he and I actually lived in Kentucky together for about 4 years. So I know Kentucky fairly well. There used to be a restaurant in Bowling Green called Po Folks. I don't know if you ever went there, and that's the first time that I ever saw mason jar. That's all they drank out of was mason jars there too. So we're cool. Harlan, I don't even know where Harlan is to be honest. I lived when I was young when the kids were little. I lived in Southern, and then I lived in Lexington for a little while. So I know parts of the state. Do you still drink? Good, Geraldine. I'm glad I'm not the only one sitting here with a big mason jar in my face. Southeast. Southeast. Okay. So, if I were to say Somerset, would you help me with that? Is that? Am I getting closer? Is Somerset somewhat close? Oh, I love it when the UPS guy brings me presents. Somerset, I think, is southeast. Anyway, I'll look you up. I'll look you up. Kentucky is a beautiful state, truly. So, I'm going to let the energy gather for a second. I want to know where it's going today. Usually as I'm sitting here, it's like they bring me something that's like, okay, where do we want to go today? It's the mother energy today. That's what it is. We need comfort. We need hugs. Do you find, we've never worked on this one yet. Every day that we gather here, it feels as if we're really focusing on a different chakra center. And we've done like the crown, we've done the third eye, we do a lot of throat clearings, which is super important. In the heart, we're expanding our lungs all the time. I see the way that I view the second chakra which is right about your belly button, is the womb. And to me, there's creative energy there. Everybody's kind of got their different feel, but that chakra area feels to me like the mama, like the mother energy. It's like where the womb is. And so I always picture it as being the place where we're cradled like a baby. And so as we're clearing today, let's allow ourselves to feel that mama energy. We're gonna work our clearing. We'll get it going, and I want you to relax as much as you can. I don't know where this is going to go. I'm just feeling it out. Because all I'm feeling right now is definitely, I'm feeling it down in the second chakra as if we are all newborn babies. And we're just being wrapped up in a little blanket, and you're being held and comforted today. There's people in this group that need to be held and comforted and reminded that we are so very loved, and that no matter what happens, no matter what happens with our earthly parents, whether we felt like we were loved in the way that we needed to, or whether they kind of fell short here and there, but they did the best they could. However our earthly parents did, there's a mother-father energy that comes to us when we call on it and brings us that love. It brings us back to that place of newness and just being held and wrapped. So let's let ourselves have that today for just a little while. Can you visualize yourself? This playground now, this is It's a gentle swing. It's a very gentle swing set. You know, often playgrounds will have the big swings where the big kids swing, and then they have the baby swings. I've even seen swings where mama gets to sit in one seat and the baby gets to sit facing her in the other one. These are kind of new. And those babies, they love those swings. They giggle, they get their little belly laugh, and they're so happy. And so let's be in that space today. Oh, wait. I have a nice gin and tonic in my mason jar. Is that what you said, Ginny? You made me laugh. Oh, mason jars are catching a Canada too. We're going to have the mason jar talk here in just a few minutes. Mammoth Cave. I've been to Mammoth Cave many times. I was just there. I love Mammoth Cave. So, Terry, you and I have probably, and your family have been circling around each other for a while. Summer drinks. Yeah, that mason jars are cool. Good. I'm glad to be one of the cool kids finally. Michelle, I get the sense that we are in the process of being reborn too, in a sense, with all this change, being cradled in a womb of love, developing into a new state of being. Thank you for that. I love it when we get on the same wavelength when we're doing this. So, the sense is today is that just to feel that, can you feel that? I can remember holding my newborns in that sense of just cradling them up to my chest or cradling my arm and looking at them and thinking, man, you're the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life. Man, when our Creator looks at us, not seeing the wrinkles, not seeing anything other than pure, most beautiful, incredible, amazing, just like I know I felt when I held onto my babies, miraculous. Wow, look at this little miraculous creature. Where did this come from? Surely this didn't come from me. This is too perfect. You are that. So let's play with that thought, Michelle. Let's be in that space of being cradled in a womb of love. Speaking of children, she's calling me. I'm sorry, I was distracted by that. She has perfect timing. My baby girl, who is now 29 years old. So, I'll catch her later. I want you to put yourself in that place. Maybe rock a little bit with me. We're going to get some clearing energy going. I can feel it in my belly. So let's go ahead and get that energy going. I want you to breathe in deeply. Do you know how babies breathe? Babies don't breathe the way that we do. We've learned how to breathe out of stress and out of, like, I'm not sure where it comes from, fear, the way that we typically breathe. So when we breathe, Luann, you don't have children? That's okay, because you know what it is when you see a mama with a newborn baby. Think of this. I don't know what your religion is. I don't know what your belief system is, but I have a picture in on my wall that is Mary holding this beautiful little baby. And this baby is looking up at her, and his eyes are catching her eyes, and there is the look of total adoration in the mama to the baby. We've all seen that. We know, you can think of, if you'd rather, you can put yourself in the animal kingdom. You know what a mama baby and those babies look like together. And so it's okay that you haven't held them in that way in this lifetime. You've been held. You're being held in those arms of love right now, in this space that we're in. You know what it feels like to be comforted in a way of just pulling, even if you have to do it for yourself. Wrap yourself in a loving blanket right now. Hold your arms. Could you do that for yourself? Hold yourself like this. Take a hold with your hands and squeeze yourself tight and rock a little bit. And as we're sitting here, I feel the energy moving. It's rising up. This is, I don't know how many of you study this, but when I feel the energy rising, it's Kundalini. It's coming from my root chakra, and it's moving up instead of down. It's not pouring down. It's coming up. And it's a beautiful, powerful energy. And that's where we are right now. Any of you who haven't had that kind of an awakening yet, it's your powerhouse. It's like so incredible. So let's let that energy come up through, from your root, right up through that beautiful womb, your second chakra. It's even there for men. We all have that. And it reminds us of the love of a mother, the love of that sweetness being wrapped up in a blanket, newborn, ease, safety, security, peace. So rock yourself, picture yourself being rocked and held right now for just a little bit. We're just going to be safe. Hi, Julie. Thank you for joining us. Jenny, I have 5, 2 adopted. Very good. Excellent. Geraldine, I don't have either. I didn't have either, Luann. That's okay, because you have mother energy, and we all do. So focus on that mama energy. Focus on that little child inside of you that wants to be held like a baby right now. And hold on to her, or him, whoever's here. Hold that baby. It's you. Are you wrapping your arms around yourself? Rock yourself. In physical form, we may not know that feeling of holding our own newborn. We may not remember what it felt like to be held. But in spirit form, in that little girl inside of you, she knows what it feels like. He knows what it feels like to be secure. Your higher self knows what it feels like. This part of you that's so pure, it knows love. And it knows how to be wrapped up. It knows how to wrap you up, so just let that happen. And the energy is rising. I love that feeling. You just said Phoenix rising. Maybe that's why it's coming up instead of down today. The Phoenix is rising right now out of the ashes. It's coming right up into the belly. I feel it coming up into the solar plexus. Can you breathe with me? Breathe, and as you breathe, pull that energy up into your lungs. Fill your lungs really, really big. Got a little bit more. I love that when I feel like I'm full, and then all of a sudden it goes, whoa, here's some more for you. Do that belly breathing like the baby. We started to talk about it a few minutes ago. As you're breathing, you're pulling it in with that big old belly. That's not necessarily a big old belly, but that sounded bad. Those big belly muscles. Pull that air in. Use those belly muscles to pull that air in as strongly as you can into your lungs, into your heart space. Fill that space up. When it gets there, let's see what it's doing next. Continue to breathe big. Keep pulling it up. Keep pulling it up. Keep pulling it up. It's into the throat. It's like a connection in here. It's really strong in the heart and it's really strong in the throat. So we're aligned. That connection. These need to be rewired. Everything in us has to be rewired right now. So when we come together and we do these things, it's like you're getting an upgrade. So there's like this stitching together of these chakras. They're like being pulled up together and joining one another in strength. It kind of helps us because we tend to be, as empaths, we like to use our hearts for everything. The heart is so strong in an empath. We forget that we have all these other energy centers. So if we can join them up, bring them all up together, the heart with all that strength helps to strengthen the others. So it's like there's a stitching going on right now. And see where it's going to still really big in the heart. Whew. I hope you're feeling that. This is huge. It's too big for me to talk through. Keep breathing. Keep pulling it in. I'm so thankful that you guys join me because this is all of us together. Our energies are just so linked up. Okay, from the throat, moving up. I'm having a lot of third eye activity. Crazy third eye activity. So I hope you guys are starting to, if you're not, I hope you get an upgrade. I hope you can start seeing the things that I'm seeing because wow, it's incredible. I'm absolutely blown away every day when I think that they've pretty much given me everything I'm going to get. Like I've always said, just bring it. I'm like this wide open, whatever you want to give me, just bring it. And every time I think, wow, I'm pretty much where I'm not. We're like, they're so giving. They're so giving. Fill it up. Your Easter basket, fill it up. Bring it. And every day it feels as if more and more is coming in, as much as we're willing to, it's making me want to cry, as much as we're willing to receive. That's the limit. There is no limit. As much as you are willing to receive through all of these clearings, all of these gatherings that we're having, and there's so many great ones. I was watching, Terry, your meditations today, and all these different opportunities that we've got to gather together and to feel this loving energy as we're being hold on. It's strongly in the throat right now and I can't talk through it. We're just all getting such an upgrade. We talked about the layers of an onion, and then we talked about this being the whole onion. We're not going one layer at a time. We're literally, this chunk of coal has been chipped away, and we are absolutely finding the diamond. And so, keep breathing, you guys. It's really thick today. So all of this work that you're doing, you're getting the big pat on the back right now. All of this work that you're doing, all of this releasing, what we talked about earlier, about all of these things, these dreams, and these things that are so hard that keep coming, and all these times that you get triggered. And the more you get triggered, the words are today is the more you get triggered, the more you face these things, the more you take the time, sit on the ground, bathroom floor, outside in the dirt, the more you ground your energy, the more you work at this. This is your job right now. It is your job right now to face this stuff, to stop shoving it back down, to stop thinking that you don't have a right to those feelings, that you just have to let it go because you don't want to hurt anybody else. You want to sacrifice yourself for other people. Gee, it's big. Your job right now is to go ahead and see these things, to go ahead and forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for going through these things and for maybe not always handling it exactly the way that other people thought you should have, or even the way you should have. The idea here is you have to be willing to face these things. You have to be willing to love yourself through it. Do not judge yourself. There is no judgment on the other side for any of these things, and they want you to release it. They truly need you to let this stuff come up. So don't keep pushing it down. Sometimes roller coaster rides make us sick and we have to let it all out. Okay, that sounds really, but it's truly the way it's coming to me right now. It's like it's right here. And it's like, can you just, whoever's holding it back, somebody in this group is holding it back, so it's literally stuck. I feel like I'm holding it right here. I've got something that I need to say, and I'm afraid to say it, and I'm not letting it out. Thank you. I don't know who just did that, but I was able to breathe again. So I don't know which one of you said, yeah, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this, but I appreciate it because you gave me back my breath. Please, please, you are so loved. You are perfect. You don't need to be forgiven. The only person that needs to forgive you is you. The only person that needs to that you need to find, I guess the way that I'm trying to say is the only approval that is necessary is your own. There is no judgment on the other side, and it doesn't matter what other people think of you. It doesn't matter. It's their stuff. They're seeing something that they don't like in you because they have stuff to take care of. You are perfect. You continue to work on what you're working on and let this other stuff go. Don't worry about what other people think. Just keep dancing. Just keep living. Just keep laughing. Just keep doing the things that you feel drawn to do and listen to your heart and feel it out. And know that you are so loved and you're not doing anything wrong. Okay? You can't mess this up. You can't mess this up. You just have to love yourself and let yourself be loved. Okay? Really important for you to know that. Hold on, it's taking my breath away again, and the cat's sensing. You see her? She's like, something's up. She's come to see us. I'm just crying with you guys today. I'm not bawling, but it's there. I don't know if you can see it. There is something big, and whatever it is in this group right now, please, you guys, I want you to just focus some loving energy on each other. Do that because there's something really big that's trying to come up, and it needs to come up. It's actually causing illness in somebody. Somebody either here with me now or somebody that's going to watch this is having a lot of, they're just so blocked up, and it's painful. It's super painful. So please focus your energy and let that loving energy flow right now to whoever needs it. You don't have to tell me. Did you feel it earlier when we all hugged? Yes, please, like, visualize yourself right now. Let's have a great big group hug. Because I want you to know how loved you are. And you're here for a reason. You came to this morning, this little playground. We're not bouncing around having fun today because we're just going to love on each other today. I want you to feel like you're absolutely wrapped up in love. So big, big hugs to everybody here. I'm focusing on it. Do you know when you're in church and it gets out and everybody, for those of you who've been to church, whatever kind of church you go to, and everybody just turns around and starts hugging each other, and there's such fellowship? That's what we're here. It's okay, Carrie. And if you need to watch the whole thing, please, when we get done, so you can get this, because there's a whole lot of healing going on, and it'll go on again every time you watch. This energy will start to move. There's a lot of healing going on in the throat chakra today, and I feel like a lot of us have been focusing on that. And I think my sense is that this virus is something that likes to attack here and likes to sit here. And so when we gather like this, the healing energy gets flowing, and sometimes it's so strong because we literally have to focus here more than ever. And I'll try to focus it someplace else, it'll move. And then it always, as the energy's coming up, it always just stops right here. And it stays there for a long time. And there's a reason for that. So yawn really big if you need to. Please focus on letting go of those things that no longer serve you. Right now, let's ask Archangel Michael to come in and sever and remove any cords or attachments that are not our own, that do not serve us anymore, that are not for our highest of good. You can still send love to those people in your life that don't understand you, that aren't where you are. Send them love right now. And then visualize those cords and attachments being cut away from you. Archangel Michael is there. He's got a sword and he's just cutting, because it's not our job to carry those people on our backs. It's only our job to send them love, to send healing. We don't need to carry all that pain. We don't need to carry them. Often I've seen myself as a swan. That came up in one of my healing sessions early on. If you watch a mama swan, all the babies hop on her back, and she just goes around she's carrying all the babies. And it's been really hard for me to realize that I can't carry all those babies on my back anymore. I have to be willing to let my babies swim. And so do you. All those people in your life. They don't have to be your children. They can be your parents or your cousins or your best friends or whoever. Whatever's going on with them, it's not your circus. They're not your monkeys. Remember that. It's not your circus. They're not your monkeys. Those are their monkeys to take care of. Let them take care of their own monkeys. That's why they came here. They got to learn too, and sometimes they got to learn through the hard stuff. So let them take care of their own monkeys. And it's up to them how many monkeys they decide to take in. It's up to them how many monkeys they want to feed. It's not up to you. You just take care of your own monkeys. It always goes to something silly. Let's see what else. There's still, I don't know if it's all going to get taken care of in this session right now. I want you guys to focus today, please, in here, always. That energy from the womb came up and it really just kind of settled here, and I'm having a hard time getting it to move. If everybody would breathe really deeply into your throat space. Let's do a little soda pop like we did yesterday. I want you to picture yourself pop the top off of your favorite kind of soda. I'm going to have a root beer. It sounds good to me right now. I'm popping that top. I'm going to take a big drink. It's cold and your throat's all dried out, so it's going to feel really good. Take a big drink of it right now and let it flow on down. Let it wash away whatever it is that's stuck. I'm hoping this works. As this, for me, is very uncomfortable today. And breathe deeply and relax and let go. Focus on letting go of those things that no longer serve you. Archangel Michael can cut those things away if you'll let him. And he's more than willing. But you have to say yes, yes, I want to let go of that. And I promise you, I'm going to tell you a little story because it was a very difficult time. And I hate to go back to this all the time, but it's just truly the biggest changes in my life came right after Steve died. And he had a very unhealthy cord. He didn't want to leave me, and we still had this attachment. And he wasn't going into healing, and I was sick. I was getting sicker and sicker. And when I started healing sessions with Paul, one of the first things he had to do with me was to cut that cord. And it was like, I don't want to keep him. I don't want to let him go. And I did, because he said if I didn't let him go, he wasn't going to get it. He wasn't going to get the healing, and I wasn't going to let him suffer anymore. Listen to me. Those people that you love, whether they're still in physical form or they've already passed, they need you. You're not being selfish by cutting those cords. They need you to let go. It's their job to stand in their own light, to learn. They came here for this purpose, even if they're your child. They're an ancient soul oftentimes. They're more than just what you see, just as you are. And they need to come here, and they need to have these lessons. And if we hold on too tightly, they're not doing what they came here to do. We're stopping their progress. So if you will let them go, if you'll say yes, even if it hurts, I send them love, and I'm cutting those cords. And I'm setting them free. And I'm going to let them fly. I hope they will. And I will be here for them when they need me. If they need to talk, if they need me to help pick up the pieces, I'll be here. But I'm not going to try to force this to them. I don't have to. They're going to be okay no matter what. Better. Wow, so much better. Thank you. Somebody just let go. Thank you so much. Thank you for that. That was intense today, you guys. Okay. Moving on up. I feel it flying right up to the third eye. I hope that you accept gifts. I hope you see more. I hope you feel more. I hope you're able to speak your truth more today. Right up through the crown. And it's just blasting right through anything that's left over, any negative energy. And I want you to see yourself rooted firmly to the earth. We are being asked to feel more, not even asked, we're being given the gift of home. We are home on this earth now. We don't have to constantly think about, well, I'm ready to go back home, I'm ready to go back home. Feel that presence of home right now through your feet. You're being rooted to the earth. And you're safe and you're protected. And your branches can grow and they can spread out, and other people can come and you can grow fruit, beautiful fruit. Allow yourself to grow that fruit. Other people can pick from that tree, and they are going to find this joy and this beautiful, sweet deliciousness that you found just by coming to your tree and enjoying that fruit that you have to offer. Julie, you're welcome, welcome, welcome. Carrie, he didn't cut the cord between Jessie and me. Maybe because I give her privacy, even though she's no longer human. I don't know. Here's the thing. That's the second part of that, Carrie. I want you to hear this, that he did cut the cord between, he helped get that cord cut. We don't actually do this. I hope you know that the angels or source energy comes in and does it. We're just channeling this, okay? But through us, these things happen. And that cord I released, and the cord was severed between Steve and I, the unhealthy cord. And suddenly I felt better. I wasn't nauseated anymore. I wasn't exhausted anymore. I got my energy back. And then he came through in a healthy way. A way he went into healing, and when he came back through me, he had received healing, and it was healthy energy that he brought to me. He no longer made me sick. That's the thing I want you to know, is we don't lose anything when we cut those cords. We just allow for a healthy interaction because our loved ones are so close to us. Okay? Gerald Ann, that was wonderful. Thank you. And everyone here in the collective healing, thank you. We're going on and on. I want you guys to remember to breathe deeply today, to feel rooted to the ground. I want you to focus right now. Your Holy Spirit higher self is safe within your heart space. You're going to kind of shut that down a little bit so you're not shining so brightly that you're attracting anything that you don't want in your world. But I want you to feel safe and protected. Just feel as if the angels are wrapping you in a protective blanket today. And I want you to go through your day knowing that you're safe, that that there's a newness, that today is a brand new day, that you've shed so many layers, that you're shining in that beautiful diamond space in your heart. And I'm thankful. I'm thankful to each of you. She did too. Okay, Carrie. Yeah, you know what? We should have a conversation about that. She came back to you. Exactly. That's what I experienced. It's beautiful. That veil is pretty thin these days. That's if it's even there anymore. I don't feel like it's even there. So please enjoy your day. I'll check back in tomorrow. I'm glad, Seta. I'm glad. Is that Seta? You'll have to tell me if I'm saying that wrong. I'm glad that you received today. And I think that's all we've got for you. I'm not hearing a whole lot more. I feel good. I feel as if we cleared some stuff today, so thank you for joining me. Have yourselves a beautiful day. I'll check back in tomorrow. We'll see if it's 10, 11, or 12. It'll be somewhere in there, and I'll check in. Enjoy your day. I love you so much. Take excellent care of yourselves. You're welcome, Luann. You're welcome, Carrie. Have a great day, Julie, Terry, if you're still here, whoever else is here, I can't see. But have a beautiful day. Take good care. I love you.